What is up, Unison Gamers? This is Michael Shawn from Unison Games Cafe, coming at you with a little tradition that I sort of started. I haven't put all of them on YouTube, but for the past 3 sets of Magic, what I've been doing is intentionally trying to avoid spoilers so that I can bring you guys a blind sealed or draft event. Today, we're looking on MTGA, and you can see that Strixhaven has, although it's not technically been released in paper yet, at the time of filming this, it's been released on MTGA. And so I do not know much about this set. Let me tell you what I do know, just for the sake of transparency. So, it seems kind of like a ripoff of Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Bloop.
There's different houses. Each house is represented by a different combination of colors. Each house has a dragon that made the house. So that means that there's, dragons for the color pairs that are associated with the house. Let's see. Other than that, there's something about like learning lessons is some kind of mechanic in this. I do not know how the mechanic works. Like I said, I've been intentionally avoiding spoilers so that I can bring you guys this. I know there's a couple of planeswalkers that seem kind of cool. There's a Modal, Will, and Rowan card, which just sounds like awesome. I'm really into that, especially as a fan of the last Will and Rowan card, the Royal Scions from Eldraine. That card's really good, and I've been using it in some decks. And let's see, what else do I know about this set? Liliana's in it, and she's reached like a whole new waifu level, apparently, because she's a like a principal or teacher or something. I don't know, man. But anyway, Liliana's in it. And she's sort of like masquerading as a teacher. Do I know anything else about the set? Not really. That's about it. So as far as what we're going to actually do today is we're going to play a sealed game of Strixhaven. Now, you see in the top here, I have 2,420 gems. I just want you guys to know that for your entertainment, I'm going to use all my gems and potentially do really poorly. I will say, when it comes to sealed, you can sort of, as long as you look at the cards, you can sort of build something relatively okay, even if you haven't done a whole lot of research. But I will say, for those of you guys that are trying to draft better, trying to play sealed better, do your research before actually jumping into an event. I'm not necessarily playing this as a way, like I'm going to win every game. What I want to do is kind of give you guys almost like a reaction to some of the mechanics in the set and things like that. So let's jump into it. I'm going to switch to a full view of the cards so that you can kind of focus on that. All right, so we've got our 6 packs here. Let's go ahead and get them opened. See what we can do. These rares plus 1 more were open in your sealed pack. Solid. So here's our rares. Let's go ahead and take a look. I know that there's cool like art stuff here. All right. Lorehold Command. Choose 2. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Creatures you control gain +1/+0 and indestructible. Lorehold Command deals 3 damage to any target. Target player gains 3 life. Sacrifice a permanent, then draw 2. Okay. Semester's End. Exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of the next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 on it if it's a creature, and an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker. Interesting. Inquisition of Kozilek. I don't think that these are necessarily standard legal. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card. Mana value 3 or less. Player discards. Seems good. Yeah, they have like a different set symbol. Necroblossom Snarl. Enters the battlefield. You may reveal. If you don't, it enters tap. So we got some reveal lands. That's cool. Auric Lore Mage. Looks pretty cool. Human Warlock. 2 and 2 black. Search your library for a card. Put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. If it's an instant or sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's kind of cool. All right, we got a nice Izzet spell here. Magecraft. I do not know this. Each instance of this ability triggers start. Okay, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, choose target creature you control. Until end of turn, it gains if this creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. And when this creature is put into exile, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. So you can do stuff when you copy some spells. That seems interesting. All right. It gave us a bunch of stuff. Oh, we got a bunch of these little things. Revitalize. That's kind of cool. We're going to go to this view so that we can see what we've got here. I'm assuming they're just doing it by colors. Yep. So, Beaming Defiance, cool, just gives people stuff. Divine Gambit, exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment and opponent controls. That seems really good. Yeah, it seems really good for this. Whenever you cast a or copy an instant or sorcery spell. So Magecraft just does something when you cast an instant or sorcery spell. And this gets +1/+0 until end of turn. That seems good because it's already a 2/2 for 2, which is not Revitalize, we all know. Study Break, tap up to 2 target creatures. And it has Learn. So this is one of the things that this is. You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card to draw that card. All right, so if we see a lesson, we'll have to take notice of that. Expel. Exile target tapped creature. I like it. Pilgrim of the Ages. When it enters the battlefield, you may search from basic planes, reveal it, put it in your hand. All right. Secret Rendezvous. Cool. That seems really good. Combat Professor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0, gains vigilance. That seems pretty decent. Yeah, it seems pretty decent. And Semester's End we already looked at. Pillar Drop Rescue or Battlefield Return target creature mana. Okay, bring stuff back in white, but it's really expensive. Symmetry Sage. I love the design of this character. Really, really cool design. Okay, Human Wizard, Flying, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy, do that. Target creature you control has base power 2 until end of turn. That's cool because you can give itself. That's really, I actually really like that card. Curate. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put any number of them back into your graveyard and the rest back on top in any order. Draw a card. That seems good too. Strategic Planning. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Okay. Are these plans? I haven't seen any lessons. Have you guys seen any lessons yet? So, lesson cards they actually have that as part of their type line. So let's see what we have for lessons right now. Not very many. Here's a lesson right here. Create 0/0 green and blue fractal creatures. Put X +1/+1 counters on it. So you can make something that seems not great. Okay, all right. But you can grab it out of your deck, yes. And then we have these lessons. Search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 2 life. That's not terrible. Expanded Anatomy. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, gains vigilance. That's not bad. Lesson Scry 2, then Draw 2 is not bad. And that's it. So I guess a lot of them are auraless then. Okay, that's it. That's good to know. Divide by 0. Return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand. Interesting. Learn. Frost Trickster. When Frost Trickster enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap. That seems really good, actually. Flying, and we have Ward. What's the deal with Ward? Whenever a permanent with Ward becomes a target of spell or ability and opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays the Ward cost. Interesting. All right, so it's harder to remove the creature, I guess. That's kind of cool. Okay, we already looked at that card. Professor's Warning. Oh, it's Liliana. And Will and Rowan, apparently. Cool. Choose 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Target creature gains indestructible. Interesting. Arrogant Poet. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 life. If you do, it gains flying until end of turn. That's kind of cool. Create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Oh, it's kind of cute. That's kind of a cute pest. I'm not going to lie. So I did hear that the black and white house has to do with like poets and their like words become magic of some sort. Target player discards 2 cards, then exile all cards from that player's graveyard. That's cool. Promising Dusk Mage. When it dies, if it had a +1/+1 on it, draw a card. Crushing Disappointment. Each player loses 2 life. You draw 2 cards. Interesting. We already looked at the Lore Mage. Hall Monitor. Ha, let's go. Target creature can't block this turn. Sure. That seems decent. Yeah, Infuriate. We all know that card. Blood Age General. Attacking spirits get +1/+0. That's cool too. It's a lot of spirits in red, which is interesting. Illustrious Historian. 5. Exile Illustrious Historian from your graveyard and create a tapped. Oh, that's kind of cool because, you know, you have the 2/1 itself, but then when it's in your graveyard, it still has value. Enthusiastic Study. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample until end of turn, and you learn. Okay. A 1/2 Dwarf Shaman with double strike for 2/3. Mascot Interception. This spell costs 3 less if it targets a creature token. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Ooh, for 1 red, you can get a creature token. That seems pretty good. Pigment Storm deals 5 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller. Interesting, but it costs 5. It's kind of expensive. Explosive Welcome deals 5 damage to any target and 3 damage to another. Add 3 red mana. It costs 8. That's a lot. All right, going on to green. Charge through. Gains trample until end of turn. Draw a card. That's pretty good for 1 mana. I like that. Snakeskin Veil we saw in the last set. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof till end of turn. Very cool. Reckless Implemencer. Double its power and toughness until end of turn for 5. That's kind of interesting. Tangle Trap deals 5 damage to target creature with flying, or you destroy target artifact. Every set has a card like that in green. Oh, here's a lesson. Containment Breach. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If its mana value is 2 or less, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. This is kind of a cool one, actually. I don't mind this lesson because, so outside the game in Magic is defined as your sideboard. So you kind of want these lessons to do sideboard type things because they're going to be outside the game. So that's kind of cool. Spine Karak is just a 2/4 for 3. Springmane Servan is an elk. It's a weird-looking elk. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. It's a 3/2 for 3. All right, Inkling Summoning. Here's another lesson. Create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. All right, so 3 mana for a 2/1 token. Exhilarating Elocution. Cool. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. That's cool. Spiteful Squad. Oh, they so cool. Death Touch. Enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1s on it. When it dies, put a counter on target creature you control. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Rise of Extus. Exile target creature. Exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, and you learn. Kind of expensive. Expressive Iteration. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them in your hand, 1 of them on the bottom of your library, and exile 1. You may play the exiled card this turn. That seems pretty decent. Prismari Apprentice. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy the instant or sorcery, it can't be blocked this turn. If that spell has a value of 5 or greater, put a +1/+1 on it. That's cool. Teach by example. When you cast your next instant or sorcery, copy it. You may choose new targets for that copy. Got to be careful to let this resolve. I like it. Spectacle Mage. Oh, it's a little owl. It's adorable. Flying instant and sorcery spells you cast with mana value 5 or greater cost 1 less to cast. Mana value is some new terminology. I think. I don't like it. Because everybody's like CMC, converted mana cost is just there. So mana value 5 or greater costs 1 less to cast. That's cool. These Izzet spells seem good. Here's a lesson. Create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Cool. Practical Research with Will and Rowan. Draw 4 cards and discard 2 unless you discard an instant or sorcery. Oh, that's kind of cool too. Elemental Masterpiece. 5 and blue and a red. Create 2 4/4 blue and red elemental creature tokens. Discard it. Create a treasure. It seems good. Necroblossom Snarl. We already saw. Witherbloom Campus. Enters the battlefield tapped. It's a Scryland. Interesting. That's like their new common land. That's kind of cool. Cram Session. Let's go. You gain 4 life and learn. That's a great card. I love it. So Golgari is got the lands, I guess. Deadly Brew. Each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. If you sacrificed a permanent this way, you may return another permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting. Infuse with Vitality. Oh, they're helping each other out. Until end of turn, target creature gains Death Touch and when this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped into your control. That seems cool. You gain 2 life. Blood Researcher, Menace. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Researcher. All right. Daemogoth Titan, maybe? Whenever it attacks or blocks, you sacrifice a creature. So it's really big, but it's going to hurt you pretty bad. I'm kind of leaning towards Golgari right now, guys. I think these cards are kind of good. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. When you sacrifice a Daemogoth Woe Eater, I hope I'm not like murdering that name. Each opponent discards a card, you draw a card, and you gain 2 life. Cool. Witherbloom Pledge Mage. Whenever you cast a copy or an instant or sorcery spell, you gain 1 life. That's kind of good, because it's a 5/5 for 5 that gains you life when you cast instants or sorceries. All right, we got Boros stuff here. Make your mark. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When the creature dies this turn, create a spirit token. That's cool. It's a good 1-cost spell. All right, Magecraft. Until end of turn, spirit creatures you control gain tap. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Seems good. Lorehold Excavation. At the beginning of your end step, mill a card. If it's a land card was milled this way, you gain 1 life. Otherwise, Lorehold Excavation deals 1 damage to each opponent. Interesting. So just kind of digging through some stuff. Red likes to do that. We already looked at that card. Square Up. Target creature has base power, toughness 4/4 till end of turn. I like that. Biomathematician. When Biomathematician enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put a +1/+1 on each fractal you control. So fractal is going to be a thing. Golden Ratio. Draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. That's cool. Especially with the fractal stuff, because you can kind of control how they come in on as for power. Quadrix Pledge Mage. Magecraft. Put a +1/+1 counter on this. That's good. That's good. We've seen a lot of stuff like that. Eureka Moment. Draw 2 cards. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay. Seems decent. Fractal Summoning, we already looked at. Excavation Wall Defender. Pay 1, you can mill a card. Team Pennant. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has Vigilance and Trample. You can equip a creature token for 1, or you can just equip something else. It's cool. When Campus Guide enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle it, put that card on top. That seems underwhelming. Then we got these lessons that we looked at before. Lastly, we have Cogwork Archivist. Reach 4/5 for 6. 2, tap it, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. So that's what we got. I am thinking about going for Golgari. I think we've got some strong stuff in there. I did think that white was pretty strong as well, but I'm thinking that black and green is where we're going to go. Okay, so here's my first iteration of this deck. I want to look at the creatures first. So we've got 2 of these walls in here, just an 0/4 with a 1. We get the Arrogant Poet, which I think is pretty good. 2/1. Whenever it attacks, you can pay 2 life and gain flying. That seems good. This can make something if we want to, and it learns a lesson. So really quick, let's just look at the lessons that I have access to here. And I think that they're pretty decent. We got Destroy Target Artifact or Enchantment and Make a Pest, which seems pretty decent. And then we've got this lesson here. If we have 2 black sources out, create a 2/1 black, white and black Inkling creature token with flying. That seems like a pretty decent lesson as well. We technically have access to this as well. If we have 2 green sources where we can make a fractal creature, and then we've got some of the Aurelus ones. Search your library for basic land. Put 2 +1/+1s on a creature, and it gains vigilance until end of turn. Scry 2, draw. So all those lessons seem pretty situational, except for the Scry 2, draw, and the +1/+1 counters. But I think that's one of the cool things about the lesson mechanic. It seems that you can play these more situational cards in your sideboard and then have access to them. So that's kind of cool. What else do we have for creatures here? An Elf Druid here where you can double the power for 5. I think that's a really good, decent card. Deadly Brew. gets creatures back to your hand, so that sort of counts, I guess. We've got ways to keep our creatures around with Infuse Vitality, and Square Up also kind of does that as well. Promising Dusk Mage for 3. It's a 2/3, and if it has a +1/+1 and dies, you get to draw a card. This 3 cost gains 2 life when it comes in, and then this is a menace. Whenever you gain life, it gets a +1/+1. Human Warlock that taps to search for your library for a card and put it into the graveyard. That seems pretty good. If it's an instant or sorcery, you get a +1/+1 on this, which seems pretty decent, that it can like buff itself up. We've got 2 of these little 4 cost Death Touchers. They come in with a 2/2, but when they die, it puts its counters on a target creature you control, so it kind of spreads it around, which is kind of cool. And then we have a bunch of big stuff, which is why I thought this would be kind of fun. So Daemogoth Woe Eater. Yeah, it's 1 colorless, a black, a hybrid black or green, and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. When you sacrifice Daemogoth Woe Eater, each opponent discards a card you draw, and you gain 2 life. This is a similar creature here with the Daemogoth Titan. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you sacrifice a creature. I like this one because it's more of a choice. Like, you can just have it sit there if you want, but it's only 4 mana for an 11/10, which just seems kind of crazy. And then Witherbloom Pledge Mage, you gain a life whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. And then I also just put this really expensive 6 cost removal spell. It's Exile, and you exile a target creature, you exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, and you learn. So it does a lot of things. I just figured it would be something good. We got some modal lands here, and we have 13 other lands for a total of not enough land. I need to add more land in. Right? 1, 2, and then 13 would be 15. I think we need more land. So we're going to take out some of the instants and sorceries for that. So let's go ahead and look through those. Professor's Warning can put a +1/+1 or give something indestructible for 1. I think that's good because we need to keep our creatures around. Charge Through, Trample, and Draw. I always try to play stuff that draws you cards in limited formats. Snakeskin Veil keeps your creatures around. I think that's going to be what we're going to go for here. This is going to make a creature, so we're going to keep that. Cram Sesh gains you life. I think I'm going to keep the life gain in the deck for right now, and keep the Graveyard Synergy stuff as well. So we will leave that. Promising Dusk Mage. All right, here's probably where we're going to. Each player loses 2. You draw 2. Again, we're going to keep that drawing in. Put 2 +1/+1s on target creature. Other creatures get +1/+1. Seems all right. But I think we're going to take that out. So we're going to take that out. And we're going to instead add in more mana. So we're gonna take 2 cards out to add 2 mana in. Not sure what the other one is going to be. I don't want to do Snakeskin Veil because that card's just really good. I think it might be Square Up. Yeah, we'll take Square Up out. All right, and then let's just check our mana. So for black, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And for green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So we need more black. Oh, so we're going to have to go to the other screen to do this. There we go. And now we have 17 lands, which is kind of right where we want to be. Cool. All right. And just so if you didn't know what we were just doing right then, what I'm doing is I'm counting the black symbols, not including stuff that has a black and a green symbol. Something's happening outside. All right. So that's the deck we're going to play with. All right, so this is the deck we're going to play with then. We've got the Golgari stuff going on. We're going to try it out and see how it goes. It may or may not be super successful. We'll see what we see. And I'm going to be essentially like checking back after each game, just talking about what we see. We may edit our deck a little bit. We will see what happens. All right, let's jump right in here. All right, here we go with our first game. I am going first. Here's my hand. It looks pretty decent. We got a land that can come in tapped, or actually we don't even need to have it come in tapped. But there's not really a reason to reveal anything, so we probably will just have it come in tapped. So we'll do this. We'll decline the reveal. Let it come in tapped. My little guy over here. Got some one-cost stuff. We may just do this turn. Go here. We're going to make a token, and then we get to learn. So it's going to look at all the cards that we have outside the game. All right. What do we want to do? We're getting set up, so we probably are going to just want to get some kind of... We can get a creature with this, or we could scry 2 and draw. I think we're going to scry. We're going to opt for that. Just so happens to be everybody's opportunity to make some noise outside. Sorry if there's a little bit of background noise. That's fine. We get a Spirit Bird here. Exile a card from your graveyard. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. All right. We got our big boy here, which is going to be helpful for us. Probably we're just going to drop this Swamp and go ahead and get to our Scry 2 and draw. We are going to want to land next turn, so we're going to keep that on top. Snakeskin we're going to put on the bottom, though, because we don't have a whole lot of things to protect right now. There we go. And we're going to say no attacks, because this is going to block. This is so cute. What a cute little pest. We've got a Cultivate here. Cultivate. All right. So, this is good to know that your draft and your... your sealed formats, essentially, they're going to have a lot of cards that aren't actually in the game right now. Most of these do happen to be cards that are legal in Standard, but, just keep that in mind that when we rotate, these aren't necessarily going to be legal for Standard. I can actually get my huge giant thing out and make them really scared, or I can draw some more cards. I'm sort of thinking about just drawing some more cards right now. I think that's what we're going to do. Probably should have waited for their turn, but that's fine. We're not going to attack. We're in a pretty chill spot right now. It's kind of even. I will say they're playing 3 colors. That's good to know. They've only played a Cultivate so far and the Stonerise Spirit, so you haven't really given us a whole lot of stuff. Got a 1/1 Menacer. Exile it from your graveyard. Draw a card, lose a life. Yeah, some of that stuff, cards you can use from your graveyard too, just seem to be intrinsically really strong. So let's keep that in mind. All right, enters the battlefield tapped. Do we need the 5th mana right now? Probably not. Let's see if they block it. Probably they won't. Good idea. End of turn target gets being 2 life. We're just going to let it do its 1 damage. There we go. All right, then we're going to let this come in tapped, because it's a good turn for that. And we're going to get a giant thing here. All right, they've got something instant speed. I don't think they had... Did they have the 4 for that? I think they just had the 4 for his ability. Or they're just going full control for us. We could do that too if we want. All right. So far, everything's pretty chill. Nothing too crazy. All right, they didn't do anything, so that's interesting on our part. We're gonna drop a Swamp. We know we're gonna do that. Got pretty much everything. It seems like a waste to use that right now. So my thought is to play both of our creatures. We're gonna start there. I can pay 2 life and give it flying if I want. They're going to think about some stuff so they can make everything fly if they want. Cool. And then we're going to go ahead and let this come in, and we're going to gain some life as well. So charge through is going to give this thing trample. So we're definitely going to attack. We're going to go like this. It's going to cause us to sacrifice a creature. So we're going to sacrifice this thing, because when it dies, it gains me a life. Here we go. We're going to say next to blockers, you're going to let them block. Let's see what they choose to block with. Both of these are pretty equal. Okay, they're going to block with their flyer, and then we're going to give this thing trample and draw a card. So they're going to take a lot of damage. They're going to take 9 damage as of right now. Okay. So when it dies, it's coming back tapped, and it has Death Touch, which is not amazing, but I'll take the 10 damage. Or the 9 damage, rather. That's fine. So it's back. We got this guy. When you sacrifice this, each opponent discards a card, you draw a card, and gain 2 life. So we have another thing that's just really big. What does this thing do? Clever gets +2/+2. Nothing crazy, nothing too crazy. We do still have some serious removal here. It's really expensive, but it does exist. Trying to think of how we could kind of make some things happen here. They've got their flyer. I think right now we're actually in a pretty favorable position. Let's start by attacking with our creatures. We're not going to pay the 2 life because I kind of want them to try to block it, and then I can use some of my spells to do some stuff. Okay. Okay, so they could Magecraft this and do some things. As of right now, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy +1. He's a good one to have a +1/+1 counter because I could give him flying later in the game if I need to. So we'll give him the +1/+1. Okay. As of right now, they're good. I'll have another window if I decide to, if I want to play this, to save this. We'll see what happens. This is a good one to be targeted by this spell as well because... so we are going to go ahead and do that. Because when it comes back onto the battlefield, it's going to gain me 2 life. So they're doing some things. All those were blocked. They're going to come back soon, and we're going to go ahead and just play our big guy here. And they're coming back, and they all have +1/+1s. Seems pretty good. So actually, I might not. I might should have not played this infused with vitality in response to that, because this actually wasn't going to end up dying. Because that exile happens right away with Semester's End. So I guess keep that in mind. So that might have been a small misplay on my part here. Okay, I'm definitely going to block. I have a feeling that they've got some things going on. If they want to blow up their whole hand to get this +2 a bunch of times, though, that's kind of okay with me. They need to play 3 different spells to get it up to where it's going to kill me. I will say that'll put a +1/+1 on it as well. So now they only need to play 1 more spell. And they're going to do that. Okay. Cool. Let's play this. And honestly, I think it might be time for our removal. So I'm going to do it. We're going to kill that. Choose up to 1 to get rid of. Let's get rid of this. All right, and then we're going to learn. So what should we get? We can make creatures. We can make more creatures. We can make a big creature. How big of a creature can we get here? So we could pay 5 for a 4/4. If we were to dump 5 mana into this, we would get a 3/3, but we could also dump more than 5 into it. They don't have an artifact. I kind of want to get this fractal summoning because we have a lot of mana to pay with it. All right, I can choose some attackers here. We can fly. I don't think we need to attack right now. I think we're good. I was thinking about attacking with the Servant just because I would definitely trade this for either of those cards. But I think I'd rather have it on the block because I can block this Menacer with my wall and that. So that's kind of nice. Can't do much about this. This is going to fly over. But I also have 21 life, so not the worst thing in the world. And we're going to have a big fractal summoning creature. And another flyer here. Target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It costs 6. And it is a 2/3 flyer. All right. We actually, normally I would not play this land. We are going to play this land, though, because I want to cast this for full value. So there we go. Select a value for X. So we need these 2 greens to pay for the hybrid cost. Then we have 5, 6. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pay. Everything. We'll auto pay with it. And we'll get a big 6/6 fractal token. There we go. I am going to attack with this time. And we'll attack. All right, they're going to block with their menace creature. That's fine. That's fine. Their plan is just going to be to win by damage, but if they attack me, I'm going to be able to get through with this 6/6. So unless they have some sort of... Yep, I have that card too. Unless they have some sort of removal, this is stuck on the board. So we'll see what happens here. They're not going to do it. I wonder if I attack if they're going to double block. I feel like that's probably what they should do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack with this and this, and I'm going to pay the 2 to let that fly. I will take action. We'll go next to blockers. I'm interested to see how they're going to block here. I see an argument for a lot of different ways to block this. I definitely think they don't want to let that 6/6 through. So they should be blocking probably with one of their flyers. And then whether or not they want to trade for my poet, I don't know. I probably would let the poet go through. Oh, they're going to block the poet, though. They're going to block the poet and not the 6/6. That is an interesting choice. We'll go next to damage. Okay, I'm a little surprised, honestly. I would not have expected that. I will say these common lands with the option to scry are actually kind of nice and limited. They're kind of nice because I don't have anything to spend my mana on right now. Draw a card and lose a life. Sure, go ahead and lose a life. That's risky. Risky. They only have 3 life. Reach. +2/+2 as long as you control 8 or more lands. Do they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They do. They do. That's a big... Oh, that's kind of a good card. 4/4 for 2. Seems decent. Pass to attackers. Let's see what they're going to do here. Yep, the 5/5. I feel like this is as good as a time as any to lose the wall. I think so. I do want to activate the ability, but after I block. Pass to blockers. I will do that. We will block. Oh, I'm glad I blocked it now. We're going to go ahead and activate this ability. That actually would have been a nice card to have. Resolve everything else. That's too bad. Pass the damage. Boop. Alright. I'm glad I blocked it. Before it's my turn, I'm going to go ahead and scry. To the bottom. I do not need a land right now. And I pulled one anyway. Solid. Solid. All right. The only way that this would get killed is if they double blocked. But I do not have anything else on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and just pass the turn. If they attack me, I'm definitely going to kill something. Unless they only hit me with the flyer. Then obviously I can't block. But I feel like at this point, I don't actually know what I would do. I probably would just attack with the flyer and play conservative. But I'm sure there are a lot of players that would just swing out at this point because they would essentially guarantee a minimum of 6 damage. And I would have to make the choice whether... Oh, okay, we're going to gain some life. That's cool. Solid. We're going to pass to attackers. Let's see what they do. They are not going to do anything, so I'm going to go ahead and scry. I'm going to keep that. That seems like a good card to draw into. All right. We go ahead and play this. Oh, I can't play this because it has white in it. What? Why is this in my deck? Does anybody know why this is in my deck? I do not know why this is in my deck. Because I edited the colors to only show me cards that I could play. Well, tell you what, that's super unfortunate. I didn't even think that would be a problem. What are you going to do? Spectre, making me lose 2 life, and then they're going to gain... Yeah. No. All right. So they're creeping back up there. They're creeping back up there. When you cast a copy, gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Sure. Sure. All right. Pass to attackers. So we need to do a little bit of editing in our next turn here. We are going to go ahead and scry. And we do not want that for us. We hit a little bit of a land pocket here. And definitely hit a little bit of a land pocket here. Wow. Crazy. All right. We're going to hopefully force them to just keep not doing anything. I mean, they're doing that, so it's cool that that's not a tap on this. In like, this card is not, it's not going to be good for constructed at all, but in limited, anytime you have somewhere to dump your mana, because oftentimes you have games like the one that we're having right now where we both have an excessive amount of mana and no cards. All right, at some point they're going to want to keep attacking. They're not right now. Yeah, we'll definitely keep that one on top. That's a card that I would enjoy seeing. We're going to tap our mana in a special way here. 3, 4, 5, which leaves exactly 4 mana for the scry. Right, this costs 4. Yep. So we're going to play our own Witherbloom Pledge Mage. And then we're going to say, next to combat, we are not going to attack yet. We're just going to pass. They're probably going to make me lose some life. Yep. Yep. We'll resolve that. Okay, we switched life totals just then. Let's see what they decide to do here. Yep, that's a decent card. We got that somewhere in our deck as well. Pass to attackers. Let's see what they're gonna do. It actually might be worth playing 1 plains and getting it off of a learn. That could be kind of cool. Yeah, they're trying to sit us out here. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this. Has menace. Let's go ahead and play that. Next turn, I'm going to attack. I'm not going to attack on this turn, but I am going to attack next turn. Yep. Go for it. Because we've got menace, we will lock up a bunch of their creatures. which will be good. That said, we need to see how much damage they could do to me in one turn. This could essentially be 4. They have 10 mana yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This could actually be more than 4. This could be a lot. So actually, it's not. We're not ready to attack. I'm kind of hoping that they attack me at some point. They're not going to, though. Because I don't kill them if they just let it all go. 6 and 5 is 11, and 2 is 13. We're going to scry. Yeah, we'll get that. Because that'll be a good threat. We have essentially 5 more turns before we die to this. No attacks. End. That gets a +1/+1. I would love a spell that gains us life somehow right now. Are they going to get to... Oh, they're going to scry as well. Do it up. Do that scry. Seems really solid. That's something we should check for in our deck construction to see if we have another color of this. And then we can splash one color. Because we have that lesson that gets stuff out of my sideboard. So, and one of the lessons that we have gets us a land in our deck. So that seems like it could be decent. Go ahead and do our scry. Just going to stare at each other for a little while. We don't want another land. We're going to gain and we're going to learn. This is something that we can get behind here. So let's do that. We're going to get some stuff here. We're going to gain there, get a +1/+1, and we're going to gain there and get a +1/+1. So that's pretty good. That in itself is pretty good. Yep. All right, let's get this learned. So we can destroy... Let's view the battlefield really quick. View browser. Select a lesson card you own from your sideboard, put it into your hand, or select a card to discard from your hand to draw a card. So you can also just draw. Honestly, I think... Let's get this. Yep. So we can give something vigilance like our biggest creature here. There we go. Target creature is going to be that. We're going to gain a life. That's going to need a plus counter there. Okay, we'll drop this just to make her counter. 14, 2 and 7, 11, 13. They still get me right now. So we're going to tap this because we're not going to swing out right now. We need to get an instant or sorcery card to get a +1/+1, or we just don't get that. I can technically get anything I want. Let's get this because I would like the +1/+1. There we go. We're going to go next to combat, and we're going to swing with this. And we're going to see how they block. Technically, they can kill it. That's okay, because I'll... Like, if I kill some of their stuff, I might be able to swing. Next to blockers. Let's see how they do it. That was kind of a long turn, but I think that was really good for us. Having the 5/5 menace is going to be huge. Yeah, this is a tough block for them. So I get why they're taking their time. It's not going to be an easy block for them. Yep, they're going to just dump a bunch of mana into it. I thought that might be what they do. That's okay, though, because this is probably, like I said, one of the biggest threats that's causing me not to attack. All right, what's going on here? We got a gain. It's fine. Target creature gets -X where X is 7 minus the number of cards. Okay, that's fine. Youch. They've been holding that one for a while, I bet. We'll end the turn. So we did not clear any of their creatures, but we did put them into top deck mode, which isn't terrible. I would have really liked to clear some of those creatures, though. I want to look at that card again. That's an interesting card. Yeah, that's a really interesting card. I like that. I like that card a lot, actually. That's going to be really good for, like, the Rakdos Sacrifice archetype that exists right now. With, like, Kroxa and stuff. Yeah, I like that. Yep. Let's do it. You're going back up. This is a long game. This is a really long game. Lots of life gain and such. Go for it. Do the attacking. Okay, they're finally swinging out here. We're going to pass to blockers. Don't know what they've got in their hand. They can pay for this to make me lose some life, so I need to be careful to keep above that. Creatures you control get +1/+1. I don't like that, and I also don't like that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to block that, and we're going to block that. And then we're going to end up taking 9. Oh, gosh. Too much damage. We're going to take 11 damage. So I can't do that. I have to block here. Go. Pass the damage. They didn't do anything. They did not do anything. So we cleared 2 of their creatures and we didn't lose any of ours. That's really good for us. Yep, we're going to lose 2. We're going down to 1. So let's see what we get. See what we get. Oh, they could pay for it twice because they had 12 land. Nice. Nice. Okay, so they got us. So what is it that we need to change in our deck? That's where we're at. We just got a defeat. The first thing is 2 cards that need white mana. We don't play any white mana. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. You guys might have caught it. I did not. Let's go back to our deck and see what's happening here. Is white worth the splash? Do we have something we could put in instead of them? Probably. Let's look at white too. Like, what comes with white if we splash white? Life gain. Draw. Is it worth it? We do have a lot of lesson stuff. We could essentially just prioritize it. Let's give it a shot. Let's give the white splash a shot. We are going to put that Revitalize in. We're not going to put the draw in just because it has both. So we'll splash with the Revitalize and those 2. We're going to take 2 swamps out. 3 swamps out. 2 and 7 is 9. 14, 16. Put one of those back in. We need to lose a card. Was there any card that we were like not a fan of? We're going to lose Snakeskin Veil. Okay. Round 2. Let's see how it goes. All right, so it's round 2. I am going first, and I only have black mana. I think I'm going to take the mulligan. All right, we got a green mana here, which isn't terrible, and a bunch of 2-cost spells, so we can probably afford to bottom a land, but I kind of don't want to. We can learn for the spell that gets us a land. You know what? I'm going to bottom this Infused with Vitality. There we go. It's early in the game. We don't necessarily need that. Play a swamp. And then we'll pass. All right. Charge through. Get something big and scary. I want to get this this poet out. Then we can actually learn for the one that puts counters on it, and we could have a really aggressive flyer. I think that would be super helpful. Is this the arrogant poet guy? Kind of looks like him. I don't know if it is, though. Here's a swamp, and here's a poet. All right. Let's do it. Okay, what do we got now? We're going to learn. So we're gaining some life, and we're going to learn for expanded anatomy. Don't need flying because they don't have any creatures unless they got something with flash. They don't. We're going to end the turn. We already know how good this card is. I'm thinking expanded anatomy is our way to go here. Let's do it. Because we wouldn't mind them losing this, we probably should have played the land and left the forest open. Nah, we're good. Let's drop that and let's attack. We're going to decline. All right, they didn't block. I will not be able to block them because they have menace, and I only have one creature. Pledge Mage gets a +1/+1 every time you cast an instant or sorcery. I'm down. I'm down. All right. Got a reveal land. I do not have something to reveal, so that's going to come in tapped. Deadly Brew, and that. Each player sacrifices. If you sacrifice a permanent, you may return another permanent from graveyard to hand, which I don't have. So we don't want to do that. So probably what we're going to do is just fly. One attacker. We'll take action. We'll say next to the damage. Go like that, and then hit there, and we'll play this Reckless Amplifier. All right. So they've got 5 land. All right. We can make this a 4/4. We've got the land. We're going to do that so that we can make this 4/4 and we could get something trample. Let's go ahead and attack. We're not going to make that fly. And we're going to see what they do on block. They're not going to do anything, so we're going to activate this ability. That's a 4/4 now. And we're going to say next. So leaving them with 2 is really important because if we give something trample, that's going to ensure that we're going to get that 2 damage in. So unless they gain life or remove both my creatures, most likely they're going to lose next turn. Let's see what's happening here. Draw 2 cards. All right, so that's going to get a +1. We can resolve that. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, so we're going to get an extra land. That's fine. All right. Seems pretty decent. Yeah. I won't be able to block this if they attack. Well, I won't be able to block anything if they attack because all my creatures are tapped. Crocodile, sure. Pass to attackers. Now, they have to realize that I can just make this flying next turn, right? I would imagine that they do realize that. We're going to drop this land, and we're going to swing with both. We're going to take action on that, and we're going to say next and see what they do. They have no mana, so I would imagine they're just done now. Good game. Here we go. All right. Well, that game went a lot smoother for us than the previous game did. Yeah, that was a really smooth game. All right, so yeah, I think that game was really good. We had to take a mulligan, which was fine. We made sure that we started with the correct mana base. We had low-cost creatures with ways to ramp them up. This learn mechanic, I really wasn't sure if it was going to be that good, but it's really good and limited. And I'm curious to see how it will affect our sideboard play moving forward in Constructed as well. But just having a lot of versatile options is really helpful. because you can really get exactly what you need for that moment. Putting those 2+1/+1 counters on that quasi flyer really helped out to get just consistent damage every single turn, and they just couldn't keep up with it. So that was really good. Let's see how the next game goes. All right, here we go. We got another hand that has all black mana and a bunch of spells that need multiple, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan. This time we have all black mana again, but we have 2 things that we can cast without needing green, so I kind of want to keep it. And then we're going to go ahead and bottom the cheaper green creature. All right, we drew this. So if we're going to learn for a land. We're going to get the spell that costs us a land. Arrogant Poet. That was the star of the show last time. We can get a pest. That's cool. Let's do that. And we're going to learn. And just like we said, we're going to go ahead and get the Search Your Library for a land. Put that in our hand. Okay, it could gain flying. It is. Gonna hit us for 2. That's fine. We can learn again if we want. We could potentially, because this gets us a plus, it gets benefits if we have a +1/+1, we could potentially do that and learn for the other spell there. Tell you what, I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to play this. We'll get ready for that. We'll cram session for the next spell, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get in for 1. That's fine. They already have a reason to attack with us, so we're going to let them, you know, we don't need to leave a blocker open for that because we already have this, so we'll just let them keep hurting themselves as long as we stay above them in life. Yeah, so they're not going to do it. Okay, so here's a forest. That's helpful for us. It's really helpful for us. So we're going to go ahead and play that down. Then we're going to cram session. We're going to learn for this expanded anatomy. And we'll also play environmental sciences to go ahead and get us one of the planes that we just put in our deck. We'll attack with this because we're okay with trading for it. That I'm a little nervous to attack with because they have a white and 3 others open. So we'll just let that happen. And I want to leave something to, you know, incentivize them not to attack with this or to take the 2 life to make it flying to attack with it. All right. I don't actually think we're going to play this yet. I think we're going to wait. Especially with this, that would have good synergy with it. So we're going to go ahead and drop this down. We have 5, which means we can't play both, and I kind of want to get this moving. So we're going to do that. We're going to go here. There we go. And we're going to attack with everything and go 2 blockers. That's fine. All right. Right now we're in a very favorable position. Next turn is looking pretty decent as well. Spiteful Squad, we know that card. Thinking about just churning through the deck, I don't necessarily know that it's super helpful right now, though, so I'm just going to let it happen. And now I kind of wish I had done it, but that's okay. Well, actually drawing the land isn't bad, because now we have 6. So if we draw another one, we can play this and this next turn, which would be helpful. We're going to start by playing this, though. It's coming in with some plus counters there. I think we're just going to attack again. We don't mind losing either of those creatures. And I want to keep the pressure on. If this dies right now, yeah, it's not going to be able to move any of those +1/+1 counters. So I think that's fine. And we're going to draw that card. All right. Infused with Vitality. When this dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control, you gain 2. All right. So what we want to draw is a land on top of the next one. It's fine. We're going to leave that. We would really like to see a land. My turn. We did not see a land. So we're going to play this giant thing. And then we're going to play the wall because the wall would be a great thing to sacrifice. I think I'm okay with trading. So we're going to attack with that. Let's see what it does. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to want to trade that. It's fine. End turn. Let's see if they attack with it. D-Spark. Resolve. Exile it with CMC4 or greater. Yeah, can't do much about that. Pass. Let's see what they got going on here. Pledge Mage. They probably will attack with this. They're not going to. Interesting. I would have expected them to attack with it for sure. We got to revitalize here. Do we have any life gain things that help? No, we have 3 cards in our hand that do gain life, though. I'm going to go ahead and use this one to draw a card. See what we get. See, and that's why we do that. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice, each opponent discards. Yeah, so we got good things happening. We can get our nice giant creature right there. But first, let's go ahead and... yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Go for it. Sure. Next to damage. I'll go ahead and gain a life. And then we'll play this. 7/6. All right. Once again, we're looking really good right now as far as things go. I could have seen the value of leaving Infuse with Vitality open. But we wouldn't have known to do that anyway because, you know, we had to play the Revitalize. They're going to exile the creature. Yep, we know that card. They chose to exile my other big guy too. This wouldn't have gotten around that anyway, so that's fine. Pest Summoning. Create 2 of those. Adorable. Cool. See what they're going to do here. Mage Duel. Costs 2 less to cast if you cast another something. Target creature you control is +1/+2, and then it fights something I don't control. We're going to block there. All right. So we're going to play this because I think we're probably going to lose that pretty soon. Then we can move the counters over. So we'll go next. We'll go no attacks because I want him to attack or her to attack. And then we'll go from there. I have 30 life right now, guys. I don't know if you saw that on the screen. That's a lot of life. Pest Summoning. Those ones are less cute than the one on the token. Yeah, it's a really good card. I really like this card a lot. Pest Summoning. Resolve. It's going to get a +1/+1 on it. Yep. Pass to attacks. Let's see what they do. Yeah, they're looking at see whether it's worth it. They decided it wasn't worth it. We're going to cast our own Arrogant Poet. That's going to be helpful because we'll get some stuff in the air. And then I don't think we're going to attack with this only because, well, no. I think we're going to wait. I can't imagine that they don't block this turn. Like, I'd be really surprised if they don't block this turn. Or if they don't attack, rather. Said the wrong thing. Yep. Alright. Get the big 4/4. Mage Hunter. Whenever an opponent casts or copies, they lose 1 life. Interesting. Why? Oh, they probably couldn't have made that a Magecraft because it's not a mage. Because it's like the whole point of the card. I see. And it's when I cast one. Alright, so we got the Menace stuff. I think that... I'm not going to block. I'm going to let it happen. I'll take the 4 damage. The way that interaction could have... Like, what I was thinking was maybe Spiteful Squad and the Servant both block. The problem with that is that the damage would go through before the counters were moved. And so this would die. And I would be left with 1 creature, essentially. Go ahead and pay. Yeah, play that. I think it's better to leave this open right now. Actually, no, it's not. We're going to attack. And we're going to take action. We're going to do that. All right. Let's go.
Bloop.
Let's go. This is an interesting game. They've been drawing into a lot of creatures, which is really helpful. Whenever you cast... So Magecraft put a +1/+1 on target creature you control. Seems pretty decent. It's a 3/3. It's fine. Let's see if they have that spell. They don't, but they have another Magecraft spell. This is really good. This Light Scribe is really, really good. I'm feeling like token decks are going to really, really like Leonin Light Scribe. All right, here comes the big swing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to block the big boy with that. Then we're going to block... What else are we going to block here? Could trade those. I don't really want to trade those. That's 6, 7, 11. I think I'm okay with it. It's fine. I'm going to gain 2 life anyway. Yep. Coming back. Okay. So we've got some indestructibility and some +1s. What we're going to do is we're going to fly over and hit for 4. We're going to start doing that like every turn. Or we can save that because now it's 4. Actually, I think we're going to save it because now we can really make good use of it. So we're not going to attack. We're going to let them do their stuff. See what they're going to do here. This is becoming a close game. I thought we had a lot of early game advantage, and I thought that it was going to turn out like be another sweep, but they've actually managed to just get a lot of creatures on the board, which is really good. Whenever you cast, okay, gains your choice of flying or lifelink until end of turn. Seems pretty good. Silver Quill. We're going to pass to attackers. They're going to attack with a bunch of stuff here. They have nothing in hand. Pass to blockers here. We could clear a bunch of stuff. Let's block their biggest thing like that. And we're going to block there. We're not going to block with that right now. Block. Indestructible there. It's fine. All right, we have this coming back in. We do not want to attack still, I don't think. Because we're keeping them from attacking with that. Yeah. We don't want to attack yet. We'll see what happens. Now, they're really looking to get like a instant or sorcery here, which they haven't actually been able to draw. Which is fine, because they got good draws off of all this. So now they're kind of hitting... They still keep getting creatures, though. Let's see what they drew. We're both relying on our top decks at this point. So it really is going to come down. It's still, like, fairly even. I would say they definitely have more of an advantage. All right, so they did get themselves a sorcery. So what are they going to do with this? They're going to fly it? Yep. Yep. Things are getting big. Okay. All right, what did they actually play? Fortifying Draught. You gain 2 life. Target creature gets +X, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. All right, that seems really good. So I'm really tempted to just block that and get it out of here. 7. But I can't because then I'll die. No, because I won't take the 7. So 6. And 6 is 12. Let's take that. I have to take the 6, which means I can't take more than 4. Yeah, I think they're right. I think that is game. Good game. All right, that was a close one. Wow, that was a really close one. So this format's kind of long. That's what I'm finding. This format's a little long. I will say we're also playing a deck that's life gain. So life gain in itself just makes things long. But I feel like there's a lot of like setting up, waiting to get your creatures to trigger. Let's go again. Let's go again. I'm trying to think of how I could have played that a little bit better. We'll see. We'll see. I didn't do much of a game review there. That's my bad, guys. That's my bad. Trying to speed things up a little bit. See what happens. You guys don't want to see my face anyway. All right. This looks like a pretty decent hand, actually. Yeah, this looks like a really decent hand. We'll keep it. We'll let that come in tapped. All right. If you guys are thinking about why I'm letting this come in tapped, this is the second game that I've done that. The reason is I just don't want to give my opponent more information. Even though they can probably assume that I do have another land. Who knows what color it is or anything like that. In general, you just kind of don't want to give your opponent as much information as possible. So unless you need that land, I would just let it come in tapped. Get that revitalize here. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this. And we waited to play that so that when we play this, we get a +1/+1 there. This is going to grow. We have a lot of ways to deal with things. We're going to give that a... Next turn, what we're going to do is we're going to play this, and then we're going to try to get something that... Oh, no!
Oh, no!
That was so sad. 4 damage. Man, that's sad. All right. All right. What are we going to do now? Definitely play that land. And I'm thinking Arrogant Poet into Cram Session. Now here's the question. Do we want one of these, or do we want to get rid of that Revitalize and draw a card? The Inkling wouldn't be so bad either. Very interesting here. Or we could start attacking like we did a couple games ago. Let's do that. That worked out really well for us then. We'll try it again in this game. Also, I could get this back. This is, I'm assuming... No, it's a sorcery. Mage Duel. Oh, no, again.
Oh, no!
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They've got... Oh, that's good, though. That's good, though. We're going to revitalize and draw a card. Into a land. It's fine. Totally fine. Each player sacrifices a creature. If you sacrificed, you may return another... So I could kill that. I have 5 cards in hand. They're a long way away from 8, so I don't know that this is a good... I don't know that that's a great thing right now. All right. Man, that's so sad. So sad. All right. Yeah, Kasmina's super good. I do remember seeing this card. Yeah, it's really good. Each other planeswalker has these loyalty abilities. You got to scry 1. Yeah, that's where we don't like that at all. We don't like that at all. Could gain some life. We get this on the field. That's what I'm thinking. Let's give him a little spoopy spoops. And we'll see what happens from there. Gains vigilance. You know, this might have been a better spoopy spoops to play just because it's still... Oh my goodness, look at all the mythics. Look at all the mythics. They got a treasure token. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure. Artifacts you control have. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. Cool. That you don't have to sacrifice it to add that mana. That's pretty decent. That's really decent, actually. I kind of like that. It's fun. We do have artifact removal in our sideboard. Ooh, we get a fractal. Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'm going to let that happen. Big boy. All right. We have this. And we'll play that. And we could do this, but that would be sad, right? That would definitely be sad. Yeah. Okay, let's go. I'm excited. Here we go. End turn. You could just attack with all your things. That could be fun. Expanded Anatomy. That is a sorcery.
Yep.
That is a sorcery. 3/4 in the air. Not much I can do about that one. We're going to put some +1s on this bad boy and give it Vigilance next turn. I think that's the plan right now. Daemogoth Titan, he's gonna hang out right now. He's just hanging out, you know. He just our friend. He's waiting. He's our friend that likes to kill us. They're gonna get themselves a scry. Yeah, Kasmina's really good. I like this card a lot. Yeah, it's
the future
solid.
is not yet decided.
The future is not yet decided, guys. Kasmina says it. All right, Biblioplex Assistant. It's a gargoyle. It's got the ability from that dragon. And when it enters the battlefield, you put a instant or sorcery from your graveyard on top of your library. They've got a kill spell that deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Well, guess what? I don't have anything that does that. Now, is that an instant? That is an instant. We're going to play a forest, and then we're going to play this bad boy. Right there. Right there. It's a 7, and we're going to attack with it towards the planeswalker because we don't like it. We don't like Kasmina. Actually, we really like Kasmina. That's the problem. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. We're going to end that turn. There's not a whole lot we can do right now. We're just kind of hanging out. We're going to get hit for 5 in the air next turn for sure. She's gonna bring another one. We just killed that. We just killed that. Ow. What does this do? Zimone. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. Alright. Alright. Makes sense. Until end of turn, target creature in death touch. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Gain 2 life. You could actually play both these cards together. That'd be kind of fun. Make this come in tapped. I don't think we're going to do anything, though. I think we're just going to pass a turn. Let's see what they do. What Kasmina Karn is going to do. Let's see. This is a really scary board, I'm not going to lie. They got some real good pulls. Double Mythic. Frost Trickster. We saw this card earlier. I don't like that. We're going to tap something down here. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Pass to attackers. Anything else? They're going to do their doubler guy? Is that worth doing shenanigans with? It means I'll have this next turn. Yeah. gain a life. That sounds fun. I love gaining life. I'll gain more life. And then we'll block this. Block. Boop. 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 Ow. Ow. This might be the end for us, guys. That was a cute little interaction, but it might be the end for us. Charge through. Ooh, boy. That would be awesome. That would be really fun. But I would die right afterwards, and that would be less fun for me if I died right afterwards. Tell you what, though, I think I'd die anyway because I can't block these. I can't block them. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give that trample. We're gonna gain a life. Now I don't die, and we're gonna draw a card. Then we're going to play this. Yep. Here we go next. And we're going to try to hit this. Boom. We'll get rid of that wall that we just played because we don't really need it. We're just going to let it happen. It's fine.
Plans are unraveling.
Yeah, they are. You're right. And I think we're going to die next turn still. Because they're just going to swing out. And we can only block one thing. But it was fun. And exciting. Let's just make sure that they do see that they're going to kill us. Because maybe they don't see it. We're just going to make sure. That's some solid oboe in that music. I like it. All right. They also have this nice spell right here. I don't know what they're thinking they're going to do with that. They don't have anything to trigger. Yeah. This card is good. I like this card a lot. They do realize that they're going to kill us. They do realize it. So we're going to block there. And then that's it. And we're going to say good game. All right. So there we go. There you have it. That was our blind sealed event here. We did win. Did we win 2 games? Yeah. No. We won 1 game. Solid. What do we learn, though, about Strixhaven? Because that's really the point of this video, is not really to win games. Like I said, if you want to win games, you need to do your research on the set so that you can expect what's coming, not only from your own deck, because obviously you can see all the cards in your deck, also, though, from your opponent's deck. But what do we learn about Strixhaven? Well, the lesson and the learn thing is really, really good for limited. Like I said, I'm not totally sold on it for constructed, but I'm definitely sold on it for limited. Learn is super, super good for limited because all of the cards that you don't put into your deck are technically considered part of your sideboard, which means that when a card references the outside of the game, you can go ahead and get literally any card that you drafted or that you pulled in sealed that has lesson on it. So that's super good. On top of that, what else do we learn? Well, it's definitely a slower format because you're it's combo-y, right? We're waiting to trigger our Magecraft stuff most of the time, it seemed. We saw a couple cards that just stand out as really good cards. That blue flyer, the frost something, that comes in, taps your creature, doesn't make it untap, makes it not untap the next thing. That's a super good creature. We saw the Leonin card. It was white and it had Magecraft. Everybody gets a +1/+1. That was super, super good. We saw the Golgari Menace. I think it was for 3. It came in as a 2/2 menace. Every time you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That was super good as well. So there's some really good stuff in the set as usual. Wizards has put a lot of stuff that seems a little bit overpowered. However, the set definitely seems like maybe it was tailored more towards limited formats. I don't know if that's what they were going for. Some of the stuff that seems really, really good doesn't seem amazing in Constructed. The Leonin and the Golgari Menace, was that Blood something? The Blood Witch thing? That definitely seems like both of those cards could be good and Constructed as well, although the other things that I mentioned don't necessarily jump out at me at things that would be really good and Constructed right now. But that's the set. Let me know what you think of the set. If you've done some drafting, hopefully you've done a little bit more study than I have right now. If you've done some drafting or some sealed events or whatever, let me know what your favorite card to play with is right now, and let me know what your favorite color combination is for limited decks. I'm going to do a little bit more research and maybe do some drafts or something like that to kind of get myself ready for this format. But I've really enjoyed bringing this to you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like content like this and other content for other games, including other Magic formats, but a ton of other games as well, like Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, board games, Marvel Battle World, all kinds of cool games that we cover, be sure to head on over to our channel. And before you even do that, go ahead and click subscribe. You're not going to want to miss videos that we're bringing. Thanks again so much for watching. This has been Michael Shawn with Unison Games Cafe, and we'll see you soon.